Hello, welcome to another SCLC Today program, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just elated over this holiday season. We just had the big turkey, and thank God for my family and your family and all families that we were able to come back together one more time. And God is going to bless us if we do what we're supposed to do, and that's to bring about the harmonious working relationship among others. We all have a responsibility to be polite toward others. So a belated happy Thanksgiving and the futuristicity of your holiday season with Christmas. And this is the most beautiful time of the year, of the season. But many people feel left out. And we must be cognizant of that, knowing that there are so many people. And you might be included, because we are all show people in terms of reality around other folks. And that's the way we are, because we are the human specimen. You know, I be hurting a lot of time inside, but I don't tell nobody. I don't show it. But I go to my prayer in my closet, and I talk to the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I'll never leave that alone, because I am a Christian. But thank you. Just giving somebody, even myself, when I talk like this, it gives all of us hope. All of us hope. Oh, let me just say this. I'll be in Montgomery, Alabama, New Year's Day. Oh, man, that's not far away. New Year's Day, speaking at 10 o'clock in the morning at Metropolitan United Methodist Church on Rosa Park Avenue, Rosa Park Boulevard, Rosa Park, the great pioneer leader. The street was named after her, with her relationship to the movement and Dr. King of 1957, when she sat down so we could get up. And I won't go into it, but I'm honored to be that keynote speaker. And they call it the Emancipation Celebration. But I do have something to say that morning at 10 o'clock. And I'm praying to God that he would let me share it, because we do have something to say. Speaking about something to say, the Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals, which take in Missouri, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, Arkansas, and a couple more states. Do you know what happened a week and 2 or 3 days ago, in a vote that was 2-1 with that appeals court, that appellate court, when they were saying with Section 2? Now, we realize, ladies and gentlemen, Section 4 and Section 5 of the 1965 Voter Rights Act has already been gutted. But this is at the appeals level of the Eighth Circuit Court in the United States of America. It will make its way all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And somebody asked me, said, you know, why you keep saying that we as elected officials can make a difference? And I do say that politics is never free to oppress. With Section 2 within the 1965 Voter Rights Act, with Section 2 give us the right to bring about petitioning and bringing about suing certain states and individuals of leadership in terms of discriminatory practices, in terms of the right to vote, where you bring up many obstacles and many ways to prevent me from having the right to vote, that I cannot complain. I cannot complain about the fact that I stood in line for so many hours and then you lock the door at the closing time and say I can't vote. That's just one example. But there's so many, many, many more. And they said that this would never happen again. Let me just show you another case. This individual that I'm going to name is out of Austin, Texas, by way of Ben Harbor, Michigan. Edward Bloom is saying that reverse discrimination is what's taking place with the diversion of what we're doing on having the impact of the historicity of where we come from in terms of the transatlantic African slave trade, and we built this country, that no company, including attorneys and other successful corporate legacy or business, cannot have a diversity program because that is reverse discrimination. My. There's another young man, Stephen Miller, who's closely related to another politician, though he want to call the name and refuse to call the name. You know, it doesn't matter. This is to let you know, people, fair-minded thinking people of all ethnicity background. We got some decent people in all aspects of ethnicity, race, and groups who want to do the right thing. I'm talking to you and to those who are being blindfolded in leading and following these type of behavior of adversarial people who are totally in a bad or diabolical spirit of division within this country. Oh man, how did I say that? Trying to be as nice as I can. But that's what we're up against. You need to pay attention. One good friend of mine who's a very outstanding researcher, and also he does research for me as well. And I have 2 or 3 of them. But one said, Charles, if we're not careful, 10 years from now, we'll be back on the plantation. And our folks won't even know it. I think it was Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed more of them if they knew that they were in slavery. Had they been informed, had they not been afraid, I could have freed more. But they didn't even realize it. Like today, you're talking about the Caucasian race owns 98 to 99% of all the wealth in this country. How can it be a level playing field? How can you say it's reverse discrimination? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a mean-spirited diabolical concerns of division in this country that refuse to give you access to capital. We are living in a capitalistic society in America. America is in a crisis. And as I close, I was just thinking about the maternal mortality within not most states, but at least 10 to 12 different states. I'm not going to be specific, but there's concern about giving health care to poor people, which enable this country to discriminate against people of color and poor people. This is bad for America. When America's saying we're the land of the free, and the democracy here in America should be all over the world. I just can't see that. You're talking about the maternal mortality. Women who are actually dying before and after birth, and giving birth and after birth, because you don't have the expansion of Medicaid in at least 10 to 12 states. And all I'm saying, and most of them are in the South, and all I'm saying, if you love me like you say, why you treat me like you do? Someone told me the other day, said, Charles, it's one thing that you say that sticks with me. I said, what's that, my friend? He said, you've been saying it for a long time, and it's embedded in me. Love is what love does. You don't have to tell nobody you love them. They know it through your action. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know, we have a responsibility to straighten this mess out. I like what Dr. Cotton said when she was working with Dr. King. When she was at a rally and they were demonstrating, going before the municipality and the mayor and other elected officials in this town, they said, well, what you want and why are you here? She said, we're here to straighten out whatever is wrong. Whew. My. That's very powerful. We are here to straighten out for whatever is wrong. That's very powerful. And I like what Rodney King said. Why can't we just get along? That's very powerful. You know, we quote the other leaders that we have had, and been quite a few of them have been very significant, from Dr. King to all the others. Why can't we just, that one word, just, when I think about just, I think about justice. Justice. Why can't we just get along? Ladies and gentlemen, I better get off this microphone because I'm getting fired up. And I want you to know that we are here at the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to work with you. Many of people would say that we don't need civil rights anymore. And I totally disagree with you. We need civil rights today more than ever. But guess what? When Dr. King was alive and well, 40 to 50% of the people, and I'm talking about people of color, didn't support him. They didn't support him, but they're reaping all of the benefits right now. And let me close with this. When Dr. King met with Harry Belafonte in his condo, his home in New York, a few months before he was assassinated, he said, Harry, I'm afraid I integrated my people into a burning house. Into a burning house. And Harry said, what are you talking about, Martin? But this is what he responded in such a way. I forgot about the economics. Access to capital. Otherwise, he was saying, I was thinking of integrating, going to school and sitting at the lunch counters and restaurants and on the bus. I thought that was going to bring about the banking system working with us. That's when he went to Marks, Mississippi. And the first time he ever cried in public was in Marks, Mississippi. And that's when he decided to have the Poor People Campaign. And they did it on a short period of time. Dr. King was killed for two reasons. Number one, opposition, his opposition to the Vietnam War. Number two, the Poor People Campaign. When he said, we're going to Washington, D.C. to collect and to get our check that this country owes us. We're going to collect on economic development. We're going to collect to have a livable wage that we can have a quality of life for our families. That's why Dr. King was assassinated, because of economics. It was economics. And I go back to this. I'm almost about to close, but I keep going, because it's moving me. I'm going to go back to this. Too big to fail. When the banks did what they did and enhanced the richness of certain folks in leadership in the financial institutions, and then they say, after they got all the money, we need the government to refurbish us, to give us some more money. And I heard from somewhere, I don't know where it came from, we got to do it because it's too big to fail. Well, I added something to that. Too big to fail and too big to go to jail. Nobody went to jail. But let you, the average John, or the average mother, father, or the average Charles Steele Jr., go down to the supermarket because I'm hungry and I want to feed my family, and steal one can and take one can of Campbell soup and walk out without paying for it. Too big to fail and too big to go to jail. That's what's wrong with this system. And the people who are creating problems, whom they say in the streets, and while they so violent, while they so filled with hatred, while they stealing things they don't even need. I was in a store just recently and had to get the newspaper from behind the counter. I said, why y'all don't keep it out here? Because they just take it. I said, I didn't know people was reading like that. She said they don't, but they just take anything to try to sell it. Let me close this thing, ladies and gentlemen. We got problems, and we must straighten it out. Love is what love does, and I love you. God bless you.